Barnaby Gloger is the principal at Rincon Foothills High School and Carpinteria Family School. And interestingly, Barnaby 15 years ago was parking cars here at Ennisbrook. So that'll give you some idea of where he's been and where he is now, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about his connection to Social Skills America. Thank you all for being here.
I did write some notes because I don't want to forget anything, but Neil said everything I was going to say. So thank you so much for having me here. My name is Barnaby Gloger. I am a school administrator in Carpinteria with the Carpinteria Unified School District. Currently, I'm the principal of Rincon and Foothill Alternative High Schools. And just this year, I was also assigned Carpinteria Family School, which is an elementary school in the district and is an alternative elementary school. So I wear a few different hats as well as some other things, and Ann and Ed from CADA and a few other people here I interact with through my other hats that I work for the school district. But I have the pleasure to work with our students and to help our students in Carpinteria find success and find, especially at the alternative sites, that looks different to different people, and there are different routes to success. And so that's why the Key class has been such an important part of the success of our students, especially at Rincon High School. But thank you for having me here today. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the students and the staff at Rincon Continuation High School to say thank you to John and your staff and to all of you that have supported and made the Key class possible, because it's been a tremendous asset to our students at Rincon High School. So John, thank you so much, and thanks for having me here today. It can be a clap. So Neil, I was actually telling the truth. You stole what I was going to say about handshakes and looking people in the eye, and I won't hold it against you. But that's what comes to mind for me when I think about the Key class. As Neil said, I was parking cars here as a valet parker 15 years ago. Before that, I was babysitting for some of the kids in this room. We all have our own routes to success, and we find different ways to get there. I was fortunate that I came from a community and an upbringing in which shaking someone's hand and looking at them in the eye was an important part of that. Valuing people, respecting people by remembering their name and asking them how they're doing. Skills that I took for granted that were just the way you did things. The students that we have at these different schools may not have received that from their upbringing or their community, and they're not going to receive it unless there's programs like the Key class to develop those skills. What not only happens, though, is, and this is what I get to see because I'm the lucky guy at the school site, what not only happens when we teach students how to interact in a job interview, how to perfect a resume, when we teach them the skills of how to communicate effectively, it increases their confidence. It puts a smile on their face. It makes them hold themselves up a little higher. And if you're one of our students who've had a challenging life up to this point, or if things just haven't gone the way that, and it hasn't been fair, your shoulders get a little bit lower, and you walk with a little bit of a slouch, and you carry a burden. And so giving these skills to students has a tremendous impact on their confidence. Last year when the Key class was at Rincon High School, it was so cool to be in the office, which I'm rarely at because I'm always bouncing around to different sites or classrooms. But to be in the office this one day when a student ran into the office with their resume that they'd worked on at the Key class, with their job skills and their interview skills, and ran in with just this giant beaming smile on their face. And I was ready to hire them right then and there. I don't know what it was for, but I want that enthusiasm and that energy where I work, and I'm ready to hire that person. But if they hadn't had that experience, what would they have brought into the next job interview? And so the students that you saw at Lazy Acres, I would imagine that through that key class experience, they went to that job interview not only having the basic knowledge and skills, but also with that confidence, with that smile and that enthusiasm that's contagious. And that's what helped get them the job. And you can't teach confidence, and you can't put it in a textbook. And if you know anything about education these days, we're all about Common Core. It's not in Common Core how to shake someone's hand. There's a lot of other good things there, but that's not part of the regular curriculum our students are receiving. And the only place that I'm aware to bring that to students is through the key class. So I want to say thank you. I want to let you all know it's having a huge impact on all of the students that are at Rincon High School, that are at all of these other schools that I'm hearing about. So I want to say thank you. If I have 1 minute, if it's okay, John, I want to just give one visual real quick. I'm all about analogies, so is that okay? Okay. If you're from the Santa Barbara area, you may have heard of an athletic event called Pier to Peak. Does anybody know that? Anybody heard of that? Has anybody run that in here? Nice. Did you do it on Sunday? Previous year? Right on. I'm impressed. So Pier to Peak is this run, sometimes walk, from Stearns Wharf, the pier, up to La Cumbre Peak at the top of Gibraltar. So 13 miles this direction, right? It's a pretty challenging race as far as half marathons go. It's the hardest one I know about. For some reason, 3 years ago, I got it in my head to attempt this. I don't know what I was thinking, but I like challenging myself. So I ran the pier, I ran and walked the Pier to Peak run, and I completed it, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I did it, and it was tough. So I figured, since I had that experience, probably the best thing to do was to get other people to have that hard experience. And so I talked a couple of my friends into doing it the next year. And what I found is something I think about with the key class. That next year when we did Pier to Peak, I was the experienced guy. I had the confidence. I knew when to walk to pace myself, when to conserve my energy, when to run. I knew where the water stations were. I had experienced it. I had already gone through this event once, and so I had this confidence. And when my friends were struggling and having a hard time, I knew there's a downhill around the corner. Well, it's a flat. It feels like downhill when you're doing that race, but it's flat. So I knew that I had that experience and I had that confidence. And we all finished around the same time because they're better athletes than me, but because I had that confidence, I was able to perform better than them. Well, on Sunday, the three of us did it all together, and they blew me away. Because they'd done it a year before, they had the confidence, they knew when to run, when to walk, when to pace themselves. One finished a half hour before me, one finished 15 minutes before me. I finished. Did a lot of walking, but I finished, thank you. I'm going to tell my wife you guys applauded. She didn't clap for me, so I'm like, I had to go to Ennisbrook to get clapped for. Thank you very much. So when I think about Key Class and when I think about this opportunity we're providing our students is we're giving them skills to equal the playing field. Not all of our students were told the race course that had experienced it before. They hadn't been guided by a parent or a mentor or a coach at some time in their life to know how to get from the pier to the peak, how to be successful in their journey. And so an opportunity like that helps give the skills so when they are on that journey up a mountain, they know what's coming. They have the confidence and they're going to be more successful that way. At this time, with a lot of our students, it's not fair, it's not equal. They are starting miles and miles away from the regular start line. And so this program, because of all of you, is help level the playing field so the smartest, fastest, most clever students do not have the barrier of not knowing how to interact in a job interview or things like that. So thank you. Thanks for cheering me on for Pier to Peak. I don't know if I'm going to do it next year, now that my friends know what it's like. But I appreciate everyone's efforts in helping to level the playing field, helping our students have the abilities to compete in the job market, in their career, and most importantly in life. The confidence doesn't just have to do with getting the right job. It has to do with being a good parent. It has to do with being a good person and giving back to your community. And so we are giving kids those skills. And so thank you all very much for having me here today and being a part of it.